Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth and final round of your Hot Modern action.
Oh, man, this is a nice one. I've playtested this match before.
We've playtested this match against each other before.
Yes. You chose the evil side of Jake Valentine's Storm deck.
No, that is not the evil side. Let me tell you right now.
I chose the spaghetti monsters from another dimension.
The Spaghetts.
Spaghetti. So this matchup revolves around a few key cards, depending on this Eldrazi Tron build. My build was a little out of date when we playtested it.
Right.
Because I had relics in the main.
Correct.
But Chalice is still a really important card for Collin here.
You can win through a relic. Winning through a Chalice is
Game 1 is impossible.
Incredibly difficult. No, don't say it's impossible.
Well, if you put a Chalice on 2?
Don't say it's impossible.
What are you going to do if I put a Chalice on 2?
Just saying. Beat you to death with Baral is what I'm going to do.
You got already M in play, but all right.
Obviously, we're going to play. Who are you talking to right now?
All right.
Beat you to death with super secret tech, Wandering Fumarole. Taste it.
There's not a chance you would play that card in Storm in a million years.
Watch me.
Don't believe me? Just watch.
Don't believe me, just watch. Yeah. I'm absolutely putting one in my Storm deck now.
All right, rock and roll.
The
other card that's in the main deck that's really good for Eldrazi Tron is Thought-Knot Seer.
I don't think it's very good. And I'm going to tell you why.
Tell me why.
Because it's very good if you get to play it on turn 2, obviously.
Yeah, 2. 3.
3, it's okay.
All right.
4, it's way too late to matter.
Let's see what wrist tattoo we got here on Collin. It looks like a
no sign. Yep, it's just a no.
Just a no?
No, it's not just a no.
Is it a missing no?
I wish. That would be a sweet tattoo.
Would it?
Yeah. Just a bunch of, like, pixelated lines on your arm.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, it's missing now.
Or just act like, oh, you can't tell what that is?
What? Seriously? Nobody's ever asked me that before. All right, so Jake's staring at his 7. I think he's on a 1-laner, but he's got multiple ops. I don't know if he's on the play or the draw. This matchup is very play-draw dependent. I feel like
that sentiment I'll concur with.
If I'm on Storm and I get the play, I feel very confident about this match.
That's good. I want you to feel confident.
Obviously, if they just like natch the Tron and drop a nice little Chalice for me, I'm not happy about it.
Chalice on 1? Nope. The Mind Stone. It's a solid card.
But Jake on the draw.
This is going to allow him to turn 3 Thought-Knot Seers or turn 3 a Chalice on 2. Right.
So turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer isn't particularly good here looking at Jake's hand. He's got a lot of cantrips still and a lot of redundancy. Jake is actually a pretty decent Storm player.
There's the natural. Perfect.
Yeah, obviously. He's very methodical. And that will do a lot for you while you're playing Storm.
Yeah, this is a great style deck for him. He's a player that benefits a lot from repetition.
Yeah.
And so.
Oh, here's the
Chalice on. Oh, he just does it on 1. Oh no, he did it on 2. Okay. And John's just gonna walk away. I think Jake ought to scoop the cards up right now. Oh, and here's 1 on 1. So we have it on 1 and 2. And so. Alright, so Jake could theoretically continue to play this game and then John's just walking away. He's abandoned. So Jake could theoretically continue to play that game and try to, because Chalice counters the spell, so he could try to continue on, but this is one of those things where Tron has a percentage of hands that just aren't beatable under any circumstance, and Jake just experienced one. It's the same. It's the same way Affinity has certain percentage of hands that are unbeatable.
That's a damn lie.
It just Tron feels worse because they're doing such a much bigger thing.
That's a lie.
Tron just has a certain number of hands that are unbeatable.
Yeah, but
Agreed?
it's not at all like the Affinity one. Like, you can Thoughtseize an Affinity hand that would normally be unbeatable, and it's just done. But like a Tron hand like that, where they just have the natural Tron, you just sit there and take it. There's nothing you can do about that.
Take it.
Yeah, man. Take it.
You alright?
No. I'm upset. Ban this shit. Get out of my format.
Yeah, it was read chat.
Yeah, the second Chalice should have been countered. Doesn't really matter. You can point out to him that the second Chalice should have been countered.
Yeah, just let him know.
But it didn't
that we
matter. Like, the
realized
Chalice on 2 makes it so Jake can't do anything anyway.
Jake heavily sideboarded.
Yeah.
There's like 10 cards that came in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just keeping you up to date. I know you had to take a walk.
Yeah, I had to walk that one off.
Sometimes you gotta walk it off. Limp it a little bit. Dogging it.
Just dogging it. Spider Monkey, if you would, let them know that the second Chalice should have been countered. Like I said, it doesn't matter, but if they know the rules, it's better for this.
Yeah, anytime you can learn the rules. No, just do it right now, and that way we won't have the mistake made again. So for those of you observe at competitive tournaments, don't interfere. Get a judge to interfere. But in this case, we'll just let them know.
Yeah, it's just a missed trigger, but
Right.
as long as it's not like during that game,
Yeah.
there are active triggers on there. But
Yep.
like I said, it just doesn't matter.
All right.
I think that's what Jake just said.
What?
It doesn't matter.
Nothing really matters. All right. So Jake's got the tools to sculpt a hand here. He's got a Shivan Reef. Got some cantrips. He has one ritual I see, and a Baral. So we're getting there. We're part of the way there.
Yeah, this is where you want to be.
Oh, and
Manamorphose,
Manamorphose is solid too. So.
practically a ritual.
Right. Jake's thinking hard about it.
Top, bottom.
Let's see where we're at on the Tron side here. I see several white bordered cards. So that's good news. And
Baral.
here's Baral.
Again, this matchup being very play draw dependent. Oh man.
He's chosen Ghost Quarter.
So that's an Eldrazi Temple.
Oh, Eldrazi Temple.
Not going for the natural Tron. I'm sure Jake has a Sigh of Relief right here.
Yep.
He gets a full extra turn to set up. I'm sure he's thinking he needs a lot of redundancy.
So
Because the Eldrazi Temple kind of signifies that the turn 3 Thought Knot Seer is coming.
Right. So here's where this Tron deck kind of, I think you made a mistake with the Eldrazi Temple. I think you played the other piece of Tron.
Yeah.
And then fourth turn the Eldrazi Temple if you don't draw the natural Tron.
Yeah. I mean, he could have another Eldrazi Temple in hand with like a Reality Smasher and just plans on going
Sure.
Temple Smash. The old Temple Smash.
All right, so Jake untapped on turn 3 without...
I think he has an opt. No, he has another sleight of hand in hand. I guess he didn't want to do
Here's a
that.
Seagate Wreckage. Collin is just not interested in having Tron in play. Because here he could have played another,
Another Tron piece.
another Tron piece.
Yeah, the Seagate Wreckage doesn't really advance
to
anything.
the same effect.
Yeah, that's a sleight of hands illustrated by the wonderful Phil Foglio.
Yes.
Man is a gentleman.
So Jake's hand is 2 Manamorphose, a Ritual, a Sleight of Hand, and a Goblin Electromancer?
So none of these actually hurt you too much if he takes it.
Correct.
So the Manamorphose is probably the right call here. It's one less card.
There's another land.
Another land is an okay draw here.
Is he looking for a Gifts Ungiven? Is that the
He needs something to go off with.
right?
Even if it's just like a Goblin Warrens at this point, or sorry, Empty Warrens at this point.
Yeah.
It's still a viable plan because next turn Collin is threatening this Chalice for 2.
Right.
And it's not unbeatable in games 2 and 3, but it does do a lot of damage.
Okay, so Jake's gonna go for it here.
Yeah, he's gonna get as big of an Empty the Warrens as possible going.
I think that
was the draw.
He got off his sleight of hand. Yeah.
All right, so we've got Manamorphose
For a blue and a red.
So now we're gonna have Jake use these D20s to represent mana in the pool. That's not okay in tournament level Magic anymore.
Really?
Yeah, this has to be represented by paper and pen. Just like energy.
Okay. I'm gonna have to read the update on that.
Always blue-red. Not always. Sometimes you want blue-blue.
Yeah, if you're overloaded on red.
You almost never want red-red. I can't think of an instance where you would.
Alright, here's a...
Oh, Jake does have the Shattering Spree in hand. Got that one off of a Manamorphose. That's a pretty nice one.
Okay, so the Electromancer represents another... another spell. So that was a heads-up play. I like it.
Mm-hmm. And this also lets him keep a mana untapped. Here's some goblins. How about 10 of them?
Gets 10 of them.
And this will represent a pretty good clock.
Yep.
So, wisely Jake went for it that turn. Collin does have the Chalice in hand.
And I think another card in his hand is All Is Dust, which is a lot more relevant.
Do you see All His Dust? I mean, he's flicking around. It's difficult to see. I didn't see
I
one myself.
saw a promo All Is Dust. I think.
Okay.
It was the Grand Prix promo. Serum
Not as
Visions.
good as the current Grand Prix promo.
Current Grand Prix promo looks beautiful.
It is a heater.
I'm very excited to put that one in the promos cube.
Sure.
Would take the place of the 20th Evolving Wilds.
But only the 20th.
Only the 20th one.
Take 13.
Yeah, you block the Baral here.
Do you? Not the Electromancer?
So the Baral represents like a lot of card movement for his Remand.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, you get a counter as Remand anyway, because you've got the Chalice on, too.
Alright, so here he needs... Do we have the natural, the Tron here now? That's a power plant with this other power plant he has. Oh, that's 3 power plants. So, was Collin playing the
20 different pieces of Tron?
Yeah, the 12 unique photos. I like it.
Do you? You would.
I would.
You absolutely would.
I'm a scumbag. What do you want from me?
Just to admit it, that's the first step.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby.
Calm down.
You calm down.
Calm down. All right, so he's just dead on board.
Yep. So Collin's dead on board.
Wanted to verify that Goblins have power, I
Yes,
guess.
and that we resolved Empty the Warrens correctly.
Multiple turns ago.
And then we're going to go to a game 3.
Oh, he's going to sit back and let it happen. Taste it. No information. Perfect. All right, so going to game 3, Collin's going to be back on the play. It's a big deal for him.
Sure.
He's got multiple lines to set up a turn 3 Chalice for 2.
Right.
And that's going to be his primary path to victory. Although a turn 3 or even turn 2 Thought Knot Seer could be very disruptive if Jake's hand isn't redundant enough.
Right. Yeah, if Jake has like the one Gifts Ungiven and you get the Thought Knot Seer, it's a big deal. The other card I didn't see that I would love for Collin to have is Walking Ballista. It plays a huge role to mitigate some of these Empty the Warrens draws. Because if you get a bunch of mana out and you Walking Ballista for 5 or 6, you can...
Yeah, but he could have just all his dusted at that point.
Sure.
Which
well, all
we know
this
he's got.
is equally important.
Well, he had it there, right?
Yeah, just didn't have the mana. I don't know that hand was a particular keeper of mine. I find when I play this Eldrazi Tron deck, I mulligan a lot.
Okay.
You're looking for a very specific set of things to come together so that you can have like a viable game plan. It feels clunky the first couple times you play, but then once you realize what the lines are, you
Right. So you don't need the benefit of the Eldrazi Tron deck over the other Tron decks is you don't actually need Tron to compete.
Right.
Like you can get there off of like a turn 3 Thought Knot, turn 4 Reality Smasher.
Right.
The downside of the Eldrazi Tron deck is that as a result you assemble Tron with a much lower percentage.
Mm-hmm.
You're not anywhere near as consistent. And so in this case, when the best spell that you can cast is turn 4, or is just 4 mana,
Right.
then you've got a much better chance of winning this matchup than the green-red Tron deck would. Because they're going to have to actually assemble Tron. You want to... Look, as long as they're not pile shuffling, I'm not going to rag on how anybody shuffles.
No?
Unless it's that one guy from that Legacy tournament we had that I was doing commentary on.
How was he shuffling?
Copiously. It was like a good 5-minute shuffle between mulligans. And I'm just ready to die back
Sitting
here.
back, yeah. Yeah, that was a time that we commentated a Legacy tournament. That was a day.
It was fun. I don't think I was qualified to commentate on that Legacy tournament. Like, I don't know what his lines are, but that card looks sweet.
Here's Death Raid Shaman. Enjoyed that while I could play it.
Oh, I always enjoy a good Death Ride Shaman. Maybe that's what they're going to unban. Let's go. Let's go.
Are they promising an unban?
No.
They hinted at an unban.
They left the back door open for an unban.
Okay.
Collin going to 6. Now, until Collin actually goes down to 2, the natural Tron draw is still live.
Sure. Jake picking up his opponent's deck and shuffling it.
Why would you not? Do you not shuffle your opponent's decks?
Not at locals.
Oh, well, you're messing up.
I cut 100% of the time.
You should shuffle 100% of the time.
You know what I had 2 different players do to me at the Grand Prix? They tried to recut their deck when I presented it back to them. Like at a Grand Prix, I'm going to shuffle your deck every time.
Oh, yeah, of course. He does have the Chalice in hand. I don't know if he kept a Tron piece on top that may signal the natural. No. Starts it off with the Temple. So he could have a turn 3 Thought Knot into a turn 4
See,
Chalice.
here you Chalice on 1 for sure.
Really?
Yeah. If you can turn off parts of his hand, like, it's great. I mean, it forces him to put his combo together just by drawing cards.
Yeah, I mean, he still gets the 1 cantrip. And here's the Walking Ballista. On 1 that's less than impressive.
Yeah, much more interested in having a Chalice on 1 there. Another thing is that Collin has
still no cantrips.
Doesn't have
Jake.
any cards in his hand, any cards in his deck that cost 1.
Right.
He might have Relic of Progenitus still in the deck, but I can't imagine that's the case. All right, the attack. Let's see if Thought Knot's here's do.
So it looks like Jake has a Wipe Away in hand. As well as I believe I saw pieces of the puzzle when he was shuffling through. Oh man, and a Shattering Spree. He's got all kinds of protection against the Chalice. So he's hoping Collin spends turn 4 Chalicing for 2.
Collin's boo getting at him on the phone.
Yeah. Just hollering at him.
Hey boo, I'm trying to draw my 3rd Tron piece here. I'll be home soon.
Here's the pieces of the puzzle. I think Jake has 6 cards in hand. So this is probably going to make him discard a card. Well, I know what 2 cards he's taking.
He's still going to think about it, as if he has choices.
Yeah, you just got to think it out, man. Make sure that Baral is not a sorcery.
Or an instant. Could also be an instant.
So is that 7 cards in hand or 8 for Jake? He's going to fan him out for us. Oh, there you go. 8.
Ritual down.
Yeah, so the rituals are a lot less impressive when you don't have the Baral. And we've already... Or the Electromancer. But they are necessary. I think he's just planning on setting up for the longer game here.
Alright. Here is Reality Smasher. Coming in for 6. So now Jake...
Yikes.
Has a legitimate clock on him. He's got 2 turns if nothing changes.
Draws a grape shot.
It's part of the situation. See, now if Collin would have run out the Chalice on 1 instead of this Walking Ballista, Jake would have to spend this turn removing the Chalice with the... I mean, I suppose he could have done it last turn with the Shattering Spree.
Right. But it's not too terribly much.
Right.
So on the next turn, it looks
But
like
he would have
Collin...
spent this turn playing pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
Alright.
So Collin does have another Reality Smasher in hand.
Yep.
So this clock is actually much faster than it looks.
Right. Yeah, you have to account for that. Jake went and talked to the judge. I'm 100% sure his question was, if I target Reality Smasher with multiple copies from Storm, do I have to discard each time? The answer is yes.
I think it was, if I wipe away a Reality Smasher, do I have to discard? Which the answer is also yes.
Correct.
But either way, you go and discard.
Yep.
Both on bottom. Not interested in these. It'd be a shame if all these cards went to waste. He was hoping to have... Oh, for 2. So you got a Grape Shot for 2. Hit the Walking Ballista for 1 and him for 1.
Yeah, ping him for 1.
That's aggressive. I like that. So this puts Jake down to 12. If he didn't do that, and next turn Collin drew the last Tron piece, he was going to die. Just straight up die. He'd be dead.
You dead, son.
Attack you with these two big spaghetti monsters. Alright, so now we have the go-off turn. Jake at 2 life. Important because Steam Vents are going to enter tapped.
Yep.
And if he draws another Shivan Reef, he won't be able to use it for colored mana. So now, we have to go.
Blue and a red. Another Manamorphose.
Run it back out.
Spends blue and a red to get a blue and a red. I would spend Mark just subscribed.
Mark,
Good to have you.
good to have you.
Jake's not going to come out of this one ahead.
Well, so he has the Past in Flames in hand.
Yep.
So we could do some shenanigans, but not a whole lot. He really wanted to draw into a cost reducer there.
Yeah, that would set the whole hand off. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's debating on how he wins here. He can't really sleight of hand because what he wants to draw into is a cost reducer, and that's just not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it could happen, but he's not going to be able to cast it.
And cast one of these other...
Right.
The remainder of the going off
We
situation.
just can't get enough blue. So if we have enough rituals, we can get a ton of red and start flashing back some Manamorphose. Oh, another Manamorphose. That's very good for him.
Here's a land off the top.
I think he kept the Manamorphose. So down to 1.
See, I think you cast all your rituals here first, and that way you can use the Manamorphose to get blue-blue.
Right.
With this pool full of red mana. Because that's your bottleneck here.
So now we just load up on rituals. I know you've got some more in there.
Yeah,
At
you
least
just
one
got to
more.
cast them all.
Does he have enough to Past in Flames and start firing off these Manamorphose? That's going to be the question. I know we have at least one ritual that's only going to add 1 mana. So 2 rituals is 2 mana. That'll take us up to 5. That's not good enough.
Nope. Past and Flames cost 4.
Let's see what line he goes for here. I guess he could sleight of
He uses
hand.
blue to sleight of hand into another ritual. Gives him 6 mana.
No, it only puts him at 5.
Oh, sure.
He wants Empty the Warrens here.
Well, here's an Empty the Warrens.
I think he's got it.
So he's got 8. 9 Empty the Warrens makes
18.
18 tokens.
That'll do it for now.
Yeah, you can block Reality Smashers and...
But that's
Good job, Jake.
That's the plan. That was the out. We got it.
Yeah, now you just got to realize it. You just got to cast it.
Yeah, he knows.
So now if this this puts him back into the game, if he can get a cost reducer and 1 more land, he can cast this Past in Flames and actually go off to win the game.
Yeah. He's at 1 life, I believe. No, he's
No,
not.
he tapped that for colorless mana.
We're going to pull out the full 18 here.
16. Oh, no, it's 9, so he's got 18 of them. That's awesome. Good for him.
Good for him. Happy for you.
I mean, he played to his outs. He topped it. You know, he
So if
went-
you're Collin, do you swing with these smashers? You have to, right?
Yeah, you got to.
Like, it doesn't feel good. You're just gonna throw him into
Here's
the
the thing:
sea of tokens.
if you let him attack you back,
Yeah, it's so much worse.
well, he doesn't die to it, but like he might have a situation which he can like get off 2 or 3 spells, and then grape shot you out.
Here's a chalice for 1.
Chalice
I don't
4
know
doesn't do anything.
what that does right now, but oh, he has another chalice in hand. That's why he was comfortable throwing out the chalice for 1 this turn.
Sure, learned his lesson from game 1, where his chalice for 1 should have been countered, but let's see. Looks like he has Matter Reshaper and some other card in between it and the chalice. Yeah, you gotta attack with the Reality Smashers because it closes off Jake's outs.
Yeah, so if you don't attack with Reality Smashers, he gets in for a bunch, and then you just die to any grape shot.
Yeah.
Runs out the Matter Reshaper.
He passes.
That's a very dangerous pass. No mana up.
So here's the thing, Jake can't attack if he doesn't have a grape shot.
Right.
So I guess you're just gonna know whether or not you're dead here. He's trying to draw to an All Is Dust, I guess.
Yeah.
That is
Last one's a power plant.
2 power plants. So he's got 5 mana or 7 if they're Eldrazi spells. This is kind of interesting.
I don't know what the last blue card in Jake's hand is.
Is it a Baral?
No.
I know some of the printings from that set came out pretty dark.
I was thinking it was a...
Here's Chalice on 2.
whatever the look at the top 5, keep 2 instants or sorceries is, but... why can't piece
So
of
I
the
wonder
puzzle?
if Jake's going to wipe away the Chalice on 2.
Yeah, wipe away Chalice on 2 is definitely the most efficient use of your mana here.
I think you just have to block with one of them here, Jake.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what he does. Good choice.
No sense.
You don't want to give him redraws on All Is Dust. Wipes away Chalice on 1.
That's interesting.
Well, it's good here because he can't replay Chalice on 1. Gets countered by his Chalice on 2.
Sure. Draws another Empty the Warrens. Which, I guess if that's your out, or if that's what you've got, you can fire it off here and get 4 more tokens. And does that win you the game?
Here is Shattering Spree on the Chalice on 2.
You can
It's
just
just gonna
replay
get
another Chalice on
replaced.
2. I wouldn't
Yeah,
do that.
wouldn't do that at all.
He should just cast Chalice on 4 now. That's not... You're not wrong. Chalice on 1 is mostly irrelevant.
Well, Chalice on 1 is...
Unless he's going off right now, this is bad. Alright.
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite play. If the last card's Baral, I'm into it.
passing?
Like if the blue card that we can't discern is Baral, and he just jammed the Baral there, I'm totally into that play.
I don't think it... I'm pretty sure it's not a brawl.
I agree, because he would have jammed it there, and then you get to untap and like do whatever it is you need to do, because that makes all your lands live draws.
Right. So if you don't wipe away at end of turn if you have Shattering Spree Brawl. Back on 1. Wow.
Well, that play seems loose.
I don't understand that one at all. That's interesting.
You're gonna chip away at the Goblin Horde here.
Yeah, just... down to 16. passes it back to Jake.
Jake draws a Steam Vents. Tapped.
Yeah, that one's got to be tapped. So if you couldn't do anything last turn, I don't think you can do anything this turn. You're close, though.
He's not far.
Just passes it back.
Oh, here's Endbringer.
We're about to bring the end. He has the mana for this.
Yep.
That means Jake is on win now mode again.
Oh man, he didn't use the old scoop mana pay for
Yeah.
this. He tapped them one at a time.
He was very deliberate about that.
Made sure.
I think you got to send everything here if you're Collin now. Because who cares if your reality smashers die?
Yeah, you just get to win the game. Is that a dismember in Collin's hand so he can... Okay, so Jake welcomes the attack. Welcome it on in. Welcome to my house. These are my rules. So could Jake draw another ritual to go off?
So if Jake draws another ritual, it's, let's see, it gives him 4, 5, 6 mana.
Yeah.
Which would be enough to start going off.
Yeah, so puts 2 rituals in the graveyard, then he casts Passive Flame with 2 floating, and then he gets to cast all the rituals out of the graveyard.
Right.
And then Grave Shot. So he needs a land, another ritual, a 3, 6, 3. Oh, interesting. Yeah, he's really making sure.
Yeah, he does not want to lose to any shenanigans, and with 2 cards, 2 combat tricks should do it.
He needs to save 2 of these Goblin Ooze.
Of course, you want to make sure you have the right art. God forbid.
God forbid we just move this thing along. Are we going to find out what this blue card is? Is it Echoing Truth? Unsummon?
I don't know, it costs 3. Whatever it is. It's a bounce spell. Whatever that is. Alright. So he's bought himself a turn if he needs it. Unsubstantiate.
Unsubstantiate.
That's what it is.
Wow.
That's going deep. I like it. Draws.
Well, you can unsubstantiate your own Grape Shot.
Yeah.
You just got to pass, Jacob.
Well, you want to Serum Visions here, because if you draw a
He's got a
Steam
Chalice on
Vents,
one.
you got to put it into play tapped. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that's.
You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that.
He just puts it in the yard.
How do you feel about attacking with 3 goblins there?
I'm not big on it because you're dead to.
Reality Smasher that way.
Yeah.
He's dead to Reality Smasher either way.
Yeah. Here's a bunch of mana. Here is Expedition Map. Pop it. Oh no, it's countered.
Alright, you got
Don't
two
get ahead of
floating.
yourself.
I don't know why, but like, I feel like it's one of those things that you can do better for yourself by like putting important enchantments and artifacts like Chalice in a better visual spot than like off to the side. Like, put it by your deck.
Yeah.
You're always looking at your deck, man. I'm always looking for that next card.
Draws another Past in Flames.
Jake has to be frustrated beyond all belief.
He's got so many outs, and none of them are.
Like, running lands would have done it. Any cost reducer, like, gets him there.
He just needs any one land or one ritual.
Any ritual does it. And cast another Endbringer.
Yeah, and Bringer is your clock. He's got a Chalice for 2 that he could run out there, but
The big swiping mana.
Chalice
Alright,
for 2.
Chalice on 2. Here we go.
I guess he's all in on this Mana Reshaper. Here's the
Land 2 turns late.
just got to pass it back.
Another tower.
Tower, power plant, power plant. Eldrazi Temple, Eldrazi Temple.
So we're at 6 or 8 if they're Eldrazi.
All right, so now Jake's back into win right now mode.
Which I don't know that there's a card that does it. Yeah, this is just unfortunate that Jake was offered so much time and his deck just wouldn't cough it up to him. Like,
Yeah.
he had, I mean, 5 or 6 turns there where he was like, all right, well, here's a bunch of outs. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a Shattering Spree. That does something. You gotta take the Shattering Spree and the Sleight of Hand.
So you'll only be able to hit one of these chalices with the Shattering
so
Spree?
the Shattering Spree gets countered, but the, what did they call that? Escalating, or... It basically has kicker of Replicate, where you can pay a red. Those don't get countered.
So with Jake at 2, he has to pass this back, and as soon as he does, Collin's just going to be able to ping him
For 1, and then it untaps in Jake's upkeep.
and then pings him for another one.
Yeah.
For style points, he could attack and before blocks just ping a token. Don't even give Jake another untap step.
Right.
Alright, so Chalice for 2 is down. So he's got to bank on his opponent misplaying. Which, you know, stranger things have happened.
An additional tower.
All right, let's see how Collin decides to play this.
If Collin does something silly like
Second Endbringer. Oh, we know. Jake's dead 6 ways to Sunday if Collin sees it.
right,
But if Collin gives Jake another turn...
Like if Collin does something like attacks here...
Right.
With the Endbringer... And Jake can block...
He even has this Dismember. That's the path he chose. Go to victory. And that's the path I'm going to choose.
To go home.
To go home.
It's been fun. Thanks for coming in and seeing us on another Tuesday night for Hot Modern Action. We'll be back next Tuesday. We'll be here Wednesday with Standard Action.
Yeah, I might show up and play some Standard tomorrow. I don't know.
Thursday, more Modern. Friday, more Modern.
Saturday, who knows? The world is our oyster.
Saturday's World's Our Oyster. Sunday, PPTQ.
There won't be a PPTQ on here Saturday.
Not
spoilers.
Not here, but I'm gonna go play in one.
Good luck.
Come see us next Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Later, nerds.